Welcome everyone to the Florida State Chronicles, where we take a look at the team on a game-by-game basis. You know that phrase where you gotta pick back up where you left off? Well, Florida State took that to heart as Florida State loses to another Georgia team, this time the Georgia Tech by a score of 24-21. A game in which the better team simply won. I couldn't believe it. Did you not see Florida State's opening drive in that oh-so-sexy 2-point conversion? That tease needs to be investigated by Congress because this is as messed up as inviting your girlfriend to your wife's birthday party. Because after that point, the Noles laid egg after egg after egg on their offensive drives. But how did we get to this result? DJ Uiagalelei, or DJ Put the Fries in the Bag as fans call him, or as one of the announcers call him, DJU. I guess he doesn't get paid enough to pronounce his last name. Anyways, I thought DJ was fine in the passing game, if it pertained to him throwing less than 5 yards. Now, I'm not gonna say he is awful, I'm not that knee-jerk as it's only been one game, but he leaves a lot to be desired. He has an accuracy issue, there is no denying that. Maybe that's the reason for the ultra-conservative play calling throughout the game. It sucks that some FSU fans travel to Ireland to watch their team get manhandled, but at least you are in Ireland. You'll fit right in when it comes time to drink your sorrows away. All you need to do is take 7 shots. Why 7? Because the front 7 of our defense was the main culprit for the team's defeat today. They just got outclassed in every conceivable way. I know Georgia Tech has a fantastic running attack, but I expected the defense to at least contain it. They failed to do so in that regard, and I think Georgia Tech deserves a lot of credit on their game plan coming in. Even then, the game would be neck and neck, and that is due to the special teams. They did an amazing job. Remember when we crapped on Ryan Fitzgerald 2 seasons ago? He has come such a long way. After all I had said about DJ, we did see what he could do when he led a game-tying touchdown drive, but it just wasn't meant to be, even after Georgia Tech nearly crapped themselves. Look, I know everyone's laughing at the Noles, but you can take a lot from a loss, and I think they'll be better because of it.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could be so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Could it be? Believe it or not, it's just...
Well, that was disgraceful. Another week, yet another loss. It's one thing to lose a game, but it's a whole nother to get embarrassed on your home field. The funny thing is I'm not mad that we lost, but I am mad because it seemed like we didn't learn from our shortcomings last week. We actually made the issues even worse. So before I go balls deep on the team's shortcomings, let's talk about the very few positives of the game. The special teams unit continues to be great, nothing substantial to report on that end. The true player of the game for the team had to be Kentron Portier, who was responsible for a touchdown on the team's 8th drive. Ja'Kai Douglas also played well, but that's really all the praise I'm gonna give out. Now to talk about both sides of the ball individually. If there was a man that could overthrow the North Korean government, you might have found your man located in the city of Tallahassee. Yeah, it's safe to say DJ Uiagalelei has officially lost the fan base. Going 21 for 42 on your passes isn't elating. However, in his defense, it would be better reflected if, you know, Kyle Morlock would stop dropping the fucking ball. It also didn't help that our 3rd down conversion rate was putrid. If your rate of converting looks like a score I'd get on my physics exam, yeah, safe to say it wasn't great at all. This offense is lifeless, just as much as the game clock in the first quarter. It ceased to exist. Oh yeah, speaking of the first quarter, you are going to tell me in that 15-minute span you only ran 3 plays? But that doesn't say a lot about the offense, but more about the... Really, guys? What the hell was that? Wasn't this supposed to be the core of the team's identity? And now they just got exposed in their run defense. Again. It got so bad that even when we had 12 men on the field, we still couldn't stop them. 263 yards of total rushing for Boston College, with FSU only having a grand total of 21.
21?
If Florida State and its fans weren't panicking before, they are now in DEFCON 1. Something has to be done. And considering the fact that the chances of the team making the playoffs is about as likely as Jimmy Kimmel being a good TV host, we need to look towards the future. Look, I'm sure DJ is a good kid, and I feel kinda bad that social media is clowning on him, but he needs to be benched. See what you have in the quarterback room, and maybe it can re-spark some interest in the program. I can already see it. Hey, sorry to give you the call, but I have an investment opportunity that's hitting the market. It's gonna be very hefty and a lot of people are gonna be in on it. Listen here, let me tell you the scheme. This football program has a quarterback named DJ who struggles to throw past the line of scrimmage, and the value comes from the QB's performance. The better they play, the more value your investment will be worth. Now, we paid him a king's ransom in order to tank the program's value, but what they haven't told you is that they're gonna bench DJ for Luke, who has killer upside. Now will be the time to buy in because I see this investment skyrocketing. Your profit on a mere $6,000 investment will be upwards of $60,000. Can I get you to invest $6,000 today? Oh man, I don't know. I'll have to talk it through with my wife. There's no time, Bryant. Who knows when they're gonna make the quarterback switch? Okay, I guess I can do that. Perfect, I'll lock in that amount, and sir, welcome to the circus. What can you even say when you pay a team $1.3 million to play you at home and get embarrassed? You knew the game was gonna go about as well as I am at talking to women on the second play when we fumbled the ball on our own 25. Oh yeah. This team just finds new ways to torture their fan base with the product they put out on the field. Well, if you're gonna do that, you might as well dress in style. A perfect representation on how our season has been going. You can say that holding Memphis to 3 points was a win for the Noles, but you then realize, oh shit, DJ is still our quarterback. I'm broken. Just like our offense. DJ started the game off 5 for 5 on passes for an impressive 7 yards. That's what you get when you call all these screenplays. Oh boy, I wonder what they're gonna run. Oh wow, look, another screen. Bam! We could bench DJ Uiagalelei, but Florida State is flat out like,
No, I don't really feel like it.
nepotism at its finest. If you were hoping the defense fared better, yeah, no, cause why would they? You've had 2 weeks and a bye to get your communication skills up. You had the film, but no, let's just get confused on every single possession. Do you see the linebackers right here? Does this look like a well-communicated team to you? It's really hard to win games when your offense and defense is looking like the McRib at McDonald's, but you know what doesn't help is when you continue to turn the ball over. I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure we aren't playing jackpot at the local swimming pool. Thankfully, it only cost them 3 points, and into halftime we go. The unfortunate thing is that Mike Norvell's halftime speeches were patched in the 2024 season update because more of the same occurred in the second half. I knew the team would be in for a slight regression, but my goodness, I didn't expect an Amanda Bynes type of regression here. It sucks because you see plays like this and it fills you with optimism. Optimism that should not exist. Yeah, no. Not unless Big Cock Brock is under center. They do end up scoring, but down 11, they decide to go for 2. What the fuck do you mean we're going for 2? What was the point, man? Happiness turned into misery. That's like someone befriending you but only finding out later that it was only because they wanted to bang your sister. The good news is that it's a 1-score game and we have a chance to get the ball back. But whoops! One of the Noles players jumps off sides, making it now a 4th and 3. You better believe they're gonna get aggressive and go for it. Who knew that shooting yourself in the foot with all these penalties will cost you down the stretch? Shockingly, it didn't lead to any points, but it did take 2.5 minutes off the board. At least the offense has time to make magic happen. And magic they did. The act of disappearing. $1.3 million, ladies and gentlemen. This has to be an SNL sketch. I don't know how we as a society allow for this offensive garbage. At least you can't get snubbed from the playoffs at the end of the year this time, since you've already pissed it away after week 3. Man, this team is such a mess.
You know, as we continue to work and continue to pour into each other and the opportunity we have.
All right, thank you, Coach.
You are to leave the building by the nearest exit or exit.
How many points do you need to score in order to beat the Golden Bears? At least 10 apparently. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, your eyes do not deceive you. Florida State football finally won a football game. And with that comes a great reward. You've more than earned it. Was the win impressive? No. Are there still glaring problems? Absolutely. But the team is treading in the right direction. I say this because the defense played well today. 7 sacks and a pick. This was what we expected from our defensive front, and we also got to see the young guys like Edwin Joseph get some good reps in. Problem is that the offense is still a traveling circus. DJ Ukulele is still the man under center, and while the offense scored 2 touchdowns, they punted the ball 6 times, threw a pick, and turned the ball over on downs once. I understand that DJ made some great plays out there, but that easily gets counteracted by plays like this one. It seems pretty clear that Norvell is sticking with DJ. All you can hope is that he builds the confidence necessary in order to get this offense over the hump. Speaking of Mike Norvell, I just don't understand his decision making sometimes. Like at all. You remember that touchdown that put us up 13-9? We went for the extra point instead of going for 2. What's the point of being up 2 field goals when you can instead give yourself leverage for a safety that will certainly not happen instead? I'm just glad Cal's kicker was garbage, so this didn't really matter too much. Or how about this play where we get stopped on Cal's 38 and instead of Fitzgerald kicking a 55-yard field goal, we go for it instead.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
It in fact did not pay off. You do realize this isn't 2022 Fitzgerald, right? Like, we can't be passing up on easy points like that, because sadly scoring 14 points won't translate to many wins in the college football realm. Regardless of the errors, a win is a win, and one win is all you need to boost team morale and confidence. It's well needed, because the team is fast approaching the toughest part of their schedule.
Second and a short 5. Little play fake. Uiagalelei lines up. Morlock, and it's picked. Off the deflection, Ahmad Walker's got it.
You suck!
Well, thanks for reminding us. I've known this after watching the first 2 games. Fun fact, but did you know that Florida State is one of 2 campuses with a circus? But what if I told you that we also had a traveling circus as well? If you already didn't pick up on what I was trying to say, the football team is the traveling circus. I don't know how a team can go from being mid to great to garbage in an alarmingly short period of time. The worst thing about it, you can't blame DJ for the team's shortcomings. The offense as a whole is garbage. The experienced lineman is about as good as a parking cone is against the car. Offensive play calling was conservative and predictable. Quite frankly, the only consistent player on offense through the first 5 games is Ja'Kai Douglas. That is it. The defense was also not ideal. Part of me thinks that this is a collective effort to make sure that there are coaching changes made before season's end.
Yeah, I got smelly garbage or old dumpster.
You get low tide?
No.
How about wet dog?
Yep, stick it up.
Even when the team looks to do something good, it easily gets counteracted with some idiocy. You see this crappy play we ran on a 3rd and goal? We'll copy and paste that to our 4th and goal, and yep, best believe we failed it. I might as well tell my next date that I stay at home all day making mediocre YouTube content if we are going to go off what our play calling is accomplishing. I just feel bad that people who suffered through Hurricane Helene had to watch this disaster class of a game. Were the Florida State Cinnamon Rolls trying to outclass the Hurricane and being the most destructive thing that happened this week? Seriously though, I hope everyone is doing well after the storm and hope everyone is safe. I'm just disgusted by this game. Thinking we had a chance to win at half is the biggest cock tease imaginable. What do you even do if you're Florida State? The team is undisciplined, the coaches aren't developing the team they have. This doesn't even feel like a team. We are the biggest laughingstock in all of college football. The haters are being proved right. I usually don't agree with mid-season changes, but this is an exception. I don't think firing Norvell is the answer, and I don't agree with the fan base turning on him so quickly, but I can't blame them. After that face mask penalty on an SMU punt attempt, the team just quit. And with that new stadium project, now is not the time to BS and stop giving a fuck on the field. This team might be in monetary hell. If you have to go after private equity, how are you gonna convince them? You might as well tell them to invest in Logan Paul's crypto zoo scam. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go drink some Everclear and go cry in my bathtub. How do I know that the game went bad for the Noles? When they were talking about how much stickier the game balls were than the practice balls, the announcers flat out roasted our receivers.
These things are sauced up pretty good. Okay.
How does it help the Florida State receivers all that much, Q?
And how do I know the season has gone bad for the Noles? When the broadcast shows that we've lost all respect and hope in the organization. Harsh but fair. There is some optimism. With DJ Uiagalelei out due to injury, Brock Glenn gets the start at quarterback. Brocktober, as fans call it, is officially underway. So how did it go? Well, about as well as you would have expected. Don't delude yourself, Glenn wasn't amazing in this game, but he did show more grit and led the team better than DJ did. The offense as a whole is still shit. The play calling was still as predictable as ever. If I see another wide receiver screen, I am going to scream. It might work in practice, but this has never worked in game. Like at all. That's like texting a girl on Tinder things that are reserved for the boys group chat. It might be great and hilarious to text the boys, but do you seriously think it would work on a potential woman of interest? Enough about the offense for now, let's check in on the defense. Again, about as well as you would have expected. Clemson, on the other hand, didn't play fantastic football either, but they did do enough to put Florida State at 1-5 on the year. Cade Klubnik threw this touchdown pass to TJ Moore off a Brock Glenn pick, proving that the wide receiver screen is not a product of bad football. The Noles just suck at executing it. Brock Glenn would finish the game 23 of 41 for 228 yards. But similar to the Boston College game, the stats would be misrepresented because, you guessed it, our wide receivers kept dropping easy passes. Let's keep it 100. Brock Glenn has the tools to be a great quarterback, but his team isn't doing him any favors. You can't win consistently only scoring 13 points.
They're a little stickier than the ones you use in practice, I tell you that much.
Do you know what else doesn't help? A garbage O-line. Maurice Smith, a fifth-year center, all of a sudden forgot how to snap the ball. Even Victor Wembanyama wouldn't have caught this snap.
They're a little stickier than the ones you use in practice, I tell you that much.
Even after all of that, the special teams continues to be great. 2 blocked field goals is a rare occurrence, and you have to be happy about where the team is at in that regard. If only the offense could score more points. But do you want to know what else would help? If we stopped committing penalties. A total of 7 for 75 yards. You see this amazing catch by Malik Benson? Called back for a holding penalty. You see this offsides by Patrick Payton? Let's add a defensive pass interference on top of that. I can talk about how garbage the offense is and how subpar the defense is all day, but the main culprit has to be the coaching staff. You know Brock Glenn has wheels and isn't trapped in quicksand like DJ is. Why doesn't the staff draw up more plays to go along with his strengths? If the O-line buckled down, we may be able to score more than 14 points. Although the game will go down as a defeat, we achieved something that we didn't the last 5 games. We saw what we had for the future. At least Alabama lost, and then I slowly lose joy when I found out the ACC ref struck again. Like seriously, how the fuck is this not a targeting call? I'm just gonna end the video here before I absolutely lose myself. This whole game was a disgrace. Florida State's offense this entire game has to be some sort of cruel joke. It has to be an SNL sketch. You want to know the funny thing? The Duke offense was just about as lifeless and uninspiring. But you want to know where Duke shined? They did not make mistakes. 0 turnovers to our 4. Mind you, 3 of those turnovers came on back-to-back plays. Rocktober my ass. Luke Krummenhoek, step right up. The delusions are high, but this is the moment where Florida State turns it all around. Just look at this deep ball. I can see clearly now. Oh, what the fuck? Looks like I forgot to take into account that it wouldn't be a Florida State game unless we had more inexcusable drops. Some jokes just write themselves. At least the special teams played well outside of that botched field goal attempt. Keep in mind, this was the only touchdown that Florida State scored. The defense also held it down pretty well, holding Duke to under 200 total yards and 3 of 17 on third down efficiency. Once again, the Duke offense was trash, just not to Florida State's extent, as 17 of the 23 points came off of turnovers. There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and FSU scoring between 12 and 16 points. Dead serious, this is their 6th straight game doing as such. I am out of ideas. I just don't know where the team goes from here. My suggestions will probably be worse than our offensive line is, so I'll leave it to y'all to decide. Do we clean house? Or maybe develop our younger players? Well, one thing's for certain, Norvell will always start his post-game media availability with the same song and dance.
Just starting off, you got to give credit to Georgia Tech. Hard-fought game. First off, congratulations to Boston College. You did a good job tonight. As starting off, congratulations to Memphis. First off, congratulations to SMU. Great performance by them. Credit to Clemson. They did a good job making the plays when necessary. First off, congratulations to Duke. And obviously their performance tonight.
Florida State is just the gift that keeps on giving, and why I wish my parents never had me. Cam Ward had his worst game of the year, and they still managed to drop 36 points on your ass. Let that sink in. This team has to take being undisciplined as a challenge, and they passed that with flying colors. Multiple too many men on the field penalties, 8 total penalties for 65 yards, 3 for 13 on third downs, only completing a little above a third of their total passes. I mean, at least they had over 100 rushing yards, but let's be real, that was overstated because this shit right here should have never worked out. At least Luke Krummenhoek was serviceable. He wasn't great by any means, but at least he did show some flashes. If I were the coaching staff, I would play him going forward. You literally have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Matter of fact, let's play all the younger guys, because why does it seem to me that some of these vets aren't putting in maximum effort? That is a culture issue. Again, you have nothing to lose and everything in the game by playing the young guns. Credit to Miami though. They were simply the better team even if they played one of their worst games of the year. I know Florida State fans got pissed that Miami didn't take a knee here, but damn it, this is a rivalry game. I don't blame them one bit. Hell, Miami felt so bad for our suckitude they allowed us to score between 12 and 16 points for the 7th game in a row. Speaking of that, the team has lost its 7th game out of 8. This hasn't happened since 1975. I would say this is rock bottom, but we say this every damn week and the bar gets set to levels that are unfathomable. You have to wonder if the NIL has gotten to these players' heads. Whatever the case, I just hope we can beat Florida come November 30th. But that in and of itself is looking more and more improbable. Florida State is mentally abusing their fan base and is why we should normalize grown men crying. I know some of you are wondering why these videos are getting shorter and shorter every week. It's not because I don't care, but because I sound like a broken record. It's the same shit every damn week with this team. They at least cut down on the penalties, I'll give them that, but spoiler alert, it meant nothing to the result of this game. Amarian Hampton, fantastic running back. Would it surprise you that even with FSU's defensive front, he would score 5 touchdowns and have 265 all-purpose yards? It doesn't? Rational thinking. Do any of us even expect this team to win week in and week out? We have to be going into every week expecting to lose. Just how much are we going to lose by? This is a team that averages 14.44 points per game. And with Houston scoring 24 points in their win against Kansas State, Florida State is now dead fucking last in that department. Shame. It shows in their inability to convert on third downs, the crappy O-line, the conservative play calling, the receivers dropping wide open passes, do I have to go on? You get the point. Mike Norvell has lost the locker room and everyone has checked out. Bobby Bowden most definitely has to be rolling around in his grave. And with this loss, Florida State's conference matches are over, finishing 1-7, the worst in school history. If the season wasn't over already, it is certainly over now. Such a fucking disgrace. Remember when this was supposed to be a must-watch game at the beginning of the year? How wrong people were on that one. Something told me to hold off making this video because there was no way getting crushed 52-3 wouldn't lead to any changes. Thank goodness I listened to my intuition. Both our offensive defensive coordinator in Alex Atkins and Adam Fuller have been kicked to the curb. Our wide receiver coach Ron Duggins was also told to catch a cab out of here as well. He probably dropped it. Will there be more? Look, I don't know, but for those hoping that Norvell will be fired, need to take a chill pill. We simply don't have the money to do so. With the renovations and such, there is no way they are paying $63.8 million to buy him out of his deal. Notice how I haven't said anything about our performance versus Notre Dame. What's there to tell? I'll just put this up and call it a day. The good news, if there is any, is that we only have 2 more games of this, because watching this team is more painful than watching a loved one in hospice. I am happy to report to everyone that Florida State finally scored more than 21 points in a football game this season. Oh, stop cheering, stop fucking cheering! Thank you. Look, I'm not going to discredit this win at all, but what we did was beat the lowest of the low. This is like me beating a bunch of paraplegics in a 40-yard dash. As I like to say, you have to play the hand you're dealt. And early on, this team looked iffy. Lack of offense and inexcusable penalties. But from the second quarter onward, the team remembered they are playing Charleston Southern. Norvell made the declaration that both Luke and Brock would share snaps, but this was the Luke Romanhawk show. And he would deliver, ending the game going 13 for 20 on his passes for 209 yards with 3 touchdowns. The thing I most appreciate here was the fact that 10 different players got a reception this game. And credit to the coaching staff for mixing it up and assessing their talent. They also went 6 of 10 on third down conversions. I know, I'm shocked as well. The big question here is, does the team believe in Kromenhoek going forward, or are they going to look into picking up a quarterback up from the portal? To that, I'm not sure, but feel free to let me know your thoughts on the matter. For now, we must look onwards to the final game of our season against a suddenly formidable Gator squad. It'll be a grind, and the Noles will need to be on point in order to keep things tight. Why would you look at this? A game where Florida State kept shooting themselves in the dick? Let me put on my surprised Pikachu face. This was a game that the Gators didn't necessarily play great in, but they didn't need to. Not when your opposition fumbles the ball 8 fucking times with 5 turnovers. Let's not forget the 8 sacks either. We could contribute that to Luke holding the ball too long and Darius Washington forgetting how to block. This offense should be in jail right now. Jail. And you want to know why? Because I don't think I've seen such garbage on my screen. And I've watched Caillou. And of course, the final blow. An opposing flag being planted on the Florida State logo. A perfect ending to an awful season. So all in all, how would I rate the season? I was seriously considering giving them an F, But thinking about the special teams of the young guns who put in the effort, I'm sparing them and giving them a D- on the season. We will never forget about this season for all of the wrong reasons. Surely we will be better next year, right? Let me know down below. But for now, this is Chan Huff signing out.